What's up guys, how are you guys doing? In this video, I'll be going over all the stuff that happened during the KR live stream, guys. And we did get a summary of the director Hyung Suk Kim live broadcast, right? So yeah, we're just gonna be, I'm not gonna be going through each topic because it's quite long. I'm just gonna do a brief like summary type video for it, okay? But let's just read this first part right here. Hello, this is Hyung Suk Kim, CEO of Super Creative and director of Chaos Zero Nightmare, right? So of course this is the main guy right there, and I'm holding today's broadcast to deliver a sincere apology and make a firm commitment to our players. We acknowledge that many of you have been disappointed by recent issues in our service and operations, right? As CEO, I feel a deep sense of responsibility, and I intend to clearly recognize and correct the mistakes that have been made, right? Today, I wish to offer my genuine apology and address the question and concerns you have had as honestly as possible. I am prepared to accept criticism where it's due and provide clear answers where they're needed, right? So yeah, he pretty much just apologizing about all the issues that the game had and stuff like that. And yeah. It is what it is, right? And if you are lost, I hope this can also be an opportunity to show you our renewed determination moving forward. I have arranged this session to address the service instability following our official launch and to respond directly to the feedbacks we have received from our prototypes regarding the current state of the game, right? So yeah. He pretty much just apologizing about all the issues, which makes sense, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Now let's go to this. First, I would like to address the service instability issues. This was, of course, a big problem when the game came out. Like I said, I didn't face too much problem with the game, but a lot of people were complaining about issues and stuff like that. But yeah, they're pretty much just gonna be working on it, okay? So there were problems with payment processing not functioning properly, issues with duplicate rewards distribution due to multiple logins. And there was like, what this means is with some people, when they were like doing rerolls, they were logging in with the same account on the phone and the PC, if I'm not mistaken, and they were getting double the reward, which was quite interesting, right? So yeah, of course they got like ×2 rewards on their account, which was kind of crazy. So that's what he's talking about, right? So duplicate rewards, right? Critical misunderstanding caused by Korea text error and many other bugs fixes that need to be implemented. There was also an issue related to Prism module observation today. Of course, this is the one where once you do like 70 pulls, you are not getting the character you selected module for, right? You are getting random ones instead, right? So yeah, that's what he means by this. Of course, they also gave us a compensation for this, which was like this ×30 Prism module, right? So yeah, pretty nice stuff, right? I sincerely apologize to all protos who experienced inconvenience due to this series of problems. Even at this very moment, our development team is working tirelessly to correct these errors and stabilize the service, right? Yeah, they've been busy, it sounds like, right? No matter what compensation we offer, I know it will never be enough to make up for the inconvenience caused. However, I would like to assure you that we are doing everything possible to resolve all service instability issues as quickly as we can. As a token of our apology, starting tomorrow, we will be distributing 10 CZN amplifiers anchors every week throughout November. Of course, this is the stuff I already made a video on, right? So yeah, that was the compensation. But right here, I do want to mention that, I feel like they shouldn't be saying stuff like this, because this will give the players too much freedom to just go crazy when something goes wrong, right? So I think they need to reward this better and not come off as like I guess obedient, right, type thing. But yeah, but it's cool, right? So yeah, that's 10 amplifier. We already got the 10 pull already yesterday, and yeah, we're gonna be getting another one next week. So yeah, but yeah, I'm just pointing out this sounds, maybe they could reward this a little better, guys, okay? We have the next one, okay? I would like to address the story related concerns. Of course, this is the biggest issue KR players have, especially with Owen and stuff like that, and yeah, they're gonna be talking about that as well. Let's just read what it says, right? To all protos who are disappointed and confused by a story that felt different from what you had anticipated, I offer my sincerest apology. We fully understand how disheartening it must be to feel like a mere observer Yeah, observer when you should have been the protagonist, fully immersive in the world of the game, right? In particular, I believe the way games characters build deeper bonds with other characters instead of the protagonist was a clear mistake on our part, right? Of course, this is all about Owen, right? The KR players were kind of mad that Owen was spending too much time with a female characters, which was quite interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't care for it that much, but KR players clearly do care about this, and they had to make an apology for it, which is interesting, right? Regrettably, I was aware of these narrative issues myself. However, as our pre-registration began in July and the official launch drew near, I became overly focused on keeping our promised release schedule, right? In that haste, I failed to ensure the quality of the story, it's unfortunate. He felt the need to rush the game and not being able to bring out the full quality of the stories and stuff like that, which it makes sense, I guess. But he didn't want to delay the game, and people would be mad if he did that, right? So yeah, but I would have much preferred if they delay the game a bit and actually release the finished product. That would have been better for them as well and for us as well, right? So yeah, but I just apologizing for that, out of concern that delaying the launch might cause further complications, right? See, that's the main issue right there, right? I made a careless decision to leave certain improvement for post-launch updates. I sincerely apologize for that. As the saying goes, better late than ever, right? We have therefore decided to restructure the main story, right? Our scenario team has already begun the overhaul with strong passion and a clear determination to improve. And our entire development team is joining forced to do everything in our power to ensure that the world of Chaos Nightmare unfold as it was truly meant to be for you, our pros, right? They're gonna be doing an overall story rewriting, okay, which is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie, because that is some dedication right there, okay. Yeah, you gotta give them some props for this, okay. That's a lot of work, guys. Okay, writing a story is not easy, guys. Okay. And next up, we have meanwhile the reason behind the scenario writer's departure have also become a point of controversy. This is more of a political issue, but I've read this and it doesn't seem like the reason was like that. So specifically, it was it was just a schedule issue, guys. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over it, right? So people won't be saying I didn't go over it, but yeah, let's just go over it, okay. It's true that the majority of the scenario team left the studio last year, right? And the reason was none other than my excessive interference, right? So yeah, of course the CEO was interfering with the projects, right, with the story writing and stuff like that. And because of the game release date, getting close, he had to rush the story and stuff like that. And yeah, that's why this happened right here. Okay, as the deadline for the final script approached, I grew impatient and made the reckless decision to participate directly in the writing process and push the project forward, which I would say that's a really big mistake. I'm not gonna lie, right? So each person, in the team, they have different qualities. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I think he should have, just let the writers do their thing. But it makes sense. He didn't want to create further problems by delaying the game, to refine the story and stuff like that. So he had to rush it, which what can you do, right? It already happened. You can't be living in the past, guys. Okay, but of course I do feel bad for these guys right here that were fired. It's very unfortunate. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I really hope they do find a new job as writer. But yeah. Anyways, the scenario writers I worked with were talented individuals, but my excessive ambition and interference ultimately stifled their creativity. That environment inevitably led to disappointing results, which weighed heavily on my heart. Right? The main story was completed under severe time constraints and various limitations. Those who had worked on it had since left the company, which was quite unfortunate, and their departure rests entirely on my shoulder. I sincerely apologize once again, right? So yeah, very unfortunate stuff, right? Our new scenario team is currently working on fresh content, including the final part of the apology and trauma code, right? I am now collaborating closely with the team, right? But he's not fully interfering. He's just collaborating, right? which is better in my opinion, and respecting their creative space and strive to maintain a true sense of partnership throughout the process, right? The main thing is, he learned from his mistakes, and he'll strive to improve. So it is what it is, right? It happened. What can you do, right? Allow me to briefly share the key direction for the upcoming main story. Of course, there's the next point, right? We will completely remove the narrative structures that cause the protagonist to feel alienated by surrounding characters. Characters that previously sparked controversy will be revised to prevent the same issue from arising, right? This is the whole Owen issue, guys. Okay, I'm not going to go over this. You guys already know what it is. The issue has become a meme, and what can you do, right? Yeah. I didn't really care that much about it. I'm saying it's but care player definitely do care about this stuff. So yeah, but it's cool. They're gonna be, of course, revising the story to make it more better, right? And and to make it more like so the main protagonist, which is us, right, will be the one interacting with the characters a lot more than Owen, right, for example, right? So yeah, it is what it is, right? By addressing the external narrative flaws and reinforcing coherence, the story will be rebuilt around the captain, right? And the sole protagonist within this universe. Makes sense, right? So pretty cool stuff, right? So yeah, this is pretty much they're saying like it's gonna be, the story will be revolving around the captain instead of in-game characters, right? Next point is we have also received feedback from our global players outside of Korea regarding insufficient localization qualities, right? Of course, most of this right here, the top part is mostly in the 4K, and now we have the global right here, okay? So the localization is probably one of the biggest issue in the game, and yeah, because like I say, in even back in the CBD, guys, I did say they need to add more description on cards and stuff like that, and the game release, and they still that issue still persists, right? So hopefully they could do something about this. It's definitely like difficult. They need to find somebody who who could get this done, right? That like speaks English and stuff like that well, right? So hopefully they'll get to this. I think this is more important than the story, but it depends, right? It depends, right? Okay, so there has been several rounds of revisions to in-game text as we deliberate over phrasing and expressions, but unfortunately some of those changes were applied inconsistently, right? Upon recognizing the issue, we conduct a comprehensive review of our text management team, our system. We are fully committed to improving localization quality so that players from all regions can enjoy the game without ever feeling excluded. Moving forward, we will take a greater responsibility in maintaining translation quality across all languages. That is very nice to hear, right? So yeah, I think you guys are gonna be happy about this as well, right? Yeah, a lot of people are complaining about localization, which makes sense, right? That's the main thing in the game, right? If you don't like understand what certain things do, it's gonna be hard to figure out how to use those things, right? So yeah, this is good, right? And now we're going to move on to the Q&A. So question, what does the captain loop ability remains in the game? Which is interesting. Of course, if you guys don't know what this means, whenever you are like inside like let's say you are doing a chaos mode and you are fighting a boss, right? And let's say you already used your hand and you already made you move, and if you feel like you could have changed the hand or the move a little bit, you could just click, there's a little button on the corner on the right below side, and you guys can click that to like go back a turn, and you guys can repeat the hand and the hand you played, and to make a better decisions, right? So that's what they're talking about. And yeah, pretty much why does a captain loop ability remains in the game, which is an interesting question. It's true that some of the settings related to the loop were changed part ways through development. We spent considerable time deliberating over how best to implement the concept, but ultimately decided to make revisions in pursuing of higher quality, right? Although the captain ability is currently described in the simplest way, we regret that we are unable to fully refine the quality toward the end, and its integration into the scenario were not executed as well as intended. In the renowned storytelling, we'll make every effort to present the captain's ability and present as a true protagonist in a more compelling and complete way, right? So yeah. So yeah, of course, they are still working on the story. They are revising the story, so they don't really have like a good answer for this. But we'll see, right? We'll see once everything's done, right? Next question is: could you clarify the character shipping issue within the story? Of course, this is more about Owen issue, right? Yeah. So to be completely transparent, both I and the team failed to fully recognize the issue before the main story launched, which makes sense. This is a very minuscule issue, but people, some people just don't like it, right? This is their biggest issue, which is interesting. While the rush preparation of the main story was certainly an issue, a more critical problem was the protagonist did not consistently stand at the center of the narrative, right? And that's the biggest problem, right? Korea players, they are complaining that Owen was the center of the narrative, which they don't like, right? Because the captain or us are supposed to be the main protagonist of the story. So yeah, I guess it's it makes sense, I guess, what I'm saying. But yeah, let's see what they're gonna say about this. All right. Instead, other character often draws the spotlight or carries the story forward, right? Which in turn made related concerns, character shipping issues far more prominent, right? Which is it's interesting. I'm not gonna lie. We plan to address interpersonal relationship between non-protagonist characters primarily through external content such as side stories and 4-panel webtoon, right? Within the game main story, interaction between non-protagonist character will be minimalized to ensure the captain remains the center of focus. I think Korean players would be very happy to hear that. We ask for your continued attention, and we assure you that this commitment will be fully reflected in the forthcoming main story renewal, right? So yeah, it looks like they are doing a massive renewal of the story. So yeah, that's gonna be exciting to see. Very nice, right? Yeah, good job for them though, to be honest. Yeah, refining rewriting the whole story is kind of a bold move, man. I respect it. I'm not gonna lie. Next question: what was there different between the Korean and global version of the in-game texts? Of course, it's a more localization issue, which makes sense, right? This issue arose simply because different text versions were not properly unified, right? We're not properly unified. We are currently fixing the inconsistency, and we will continue refining localization quality moving forward, right? Very simple question. It's just localization issue, right? Which they are working on, which is interesting, right? And yeah, this is important, right? Affinity level are too difficult to raise. 100%, bro. Affinity system is very annoying. I'm not gonna lie, okay? But of course, they have been giving us a gift to give for our characters, so it has been a little bit easier to get that level 15 affinity on the characters. But yeah, this was the biggest issue without them giving us a gift, okay? Because yeah, you barely get any of the gifts you can give for your characters. So yeah, I'm glad somebody asked about this. That's amazing, right? We are aware that the current system makes it challenging to increase affinity level, particularly due to restriction in acquiring gifts. Yes, 100%, right? 100%. Although we have been distributing small rewards via mail, we plan to improve the system in our first official update to make it easier and more enjoyable for players to raise affinity. I think the easiest fix they could do for this is just putting the gift, right, the affinity gifts inside the summon currency shop, right? Whenever you summon, you get a currency, right? And using that, you could buy other materials. So I think they could just put the affinity gifts in there, and people can buy them. Okay, they could limit them to like 20 or 10 or 20, right? Every month, right? And you could just buy them, right? I think that's just one of the better ways to do this. Okay, yeah, very simple, easy fix for that. Of course, they could also put them inside the Zorium shop, which is of course by doing the basin of hyperspace, you get those currency, right? Zoronium, I think it's called, and yeah, they could also put the affinity gifts in there as well, right? Yeah, I think this is pretty simple to fix right here. Okay. Okay, next up, why was the captain sidelined in the story? of course, more about Owen, which we already went over this. I'm not going to go over this, guys. Okay. Next up, please clarify the rumors about the use of AI in a character illustration. This was a problem after the CBD as well. So let's see what they say about this. All right. Over 100 people are currently working on development in our studio. Various internal development information and detail about internal stuff are spreading throughout the community. So if AI had actually been used, the truth would have inevitably come to light. I want to state clearly that AI was not used in our development process, and I believe them. Okay, the art do not look AI. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it back. Okay, AI is not used in there. Okay, this was just a misinformation that happened during the CBD, and yeah, but on the actual release, yeah, there's no AI, right? So yeah, I believe them. Next up, we have, could you explain the monetization model, right? We are aware that there has been significant dissatisfaction regarding this matter. I have personally reflected on it deeply, and we have held multiple internal discussions and debates about possible adjustments. Compared to other games, the cost of acquiring characters is approximately 30% lower, which makes sense. To do a summon is like 1600, which is the norm, and there's a soft PD at the actual PD is like 70 to get character, but there's a soft PD on 60 or stuff like that, which is a lot nicer, right? And yeah, it's not hard to get a character. It's just a 50-50 system that is kind of annoying, but outside of that, I think the gacha system is pretty good, guys. Okay, I've played worse game than this. Okay, you guys already know I've played JJK Phantom Parade, and that game is insane. Okay, the PD is 250 on that one. Okay, but here it's only 60, bro. So for me, it's like nothing. This 60 PD or 120 PD is nothing for me. I'm gonna keep it back. Okay, so yeah. The system here and CZN is actually a lot better than most, right? Which we believe would make the process more approachable and player friendly in the long run. Yes, 100%. What I'm saying? It's just the main issue that might come up is not being able to get enough in-game currency for free-to-play players. But I think the more content they release, the more stuff, the more ways we will be able to acquire crystals, right? So yeah, I think this shouldn't be a concern now. I think the gacha is pretty good in my opinion. But yeah, of course, releasing new content gonna be kind of difficult because they are revamping the whole story now. So yeah, it's gonna be quite difficult. So they might be a little delay between like events and stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't ruin the game, right? So I think a lot of people are having too much fun with chaos mode. So I don't know if they mind it that much, but that's still gonna might be an issue, right? So hopefully they don't like completely focus on the story and actually focus on like creating new events and stuff like that, right? I think that would have been better, right? That would be better actually. Now would happen, right? Anyways. Yeah, the ones you want to. Okay, if we find that the current model remains insufficient, we plan to offer more rewards to make it easier and move comfortably to obtain character, right? Great, right? That is great to hear right here. So yeah. Monetization system is fine by me, I'm not gonna lie. Next up, how will game improvement process going forward? Game improvement also remains our top priority, and we are carefully reviewing and implementing enhancements wherever possible, which is amazing, right? Yeah, they're gonna be consistently updating and fixing and revamping the game, which is amazing, right? Yeah, the game just came out, guys. Okay, give them some time, okay? What I'm saying? Just give them some time, right? They will get to all of this moving forward. Okay, just give them like 2-3 months, okay? And yeah. Of course, the story will take a lot longer, but when it comes to like bug fixes, game improvement, localization, and stuff like that, I think we'll see a bigger improvement super early, guys. Okay, so yeah. Next up, why has communication through live broadcast been delayed? This is just it's a basic question, right? I deeply apologize that there have been far too many bugs and problems since launch. Embarrassingly, we prioritize resolving those issues before coming forward. Makes sense. Right, makes sense, because if they don't fix the problems, people are gonna keep complaining. So yeah, them focusing on or prioritizing the bugs and stuff like that makes sense, right? So yeah, I don't fault them for that. Although we have been preparing intensively for this session. Our development team has been working tirelessly to address these issues, which unfortunately resulted in a delay in our communication, which makes sense, right? Yeah, they've been busy, man, because just a lot of issues keep rising up, and this is gonna be this is gonna take some time, especially revamping the whole story. Is kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. Next up, I would like to express my sincere apology for not reaching out sooner. We will make every effort to hold more sessions like this in the future and to respond quickly to your feedbacks and concerns. Amazing, right? Yeah, very amazing. But I really hope they don't get lost in the sauce, trying to address every feedback, because people just complain just to complain, guys. Okay, so do not be addressing every single issue, guys. Okay, just address ones that's coming from most people, right? Which makes sense, because if a lot of people are having that issue, it means it's a big problem, right? But outside of that, it's a very good thing, right? They're gonna do more communication and stuff like that. So yeah, I respect it, right? During development, I often found myself caught up in managerial concerns and matters unrelated to what truly matters, our products. This experience has been humbling reminder of where our priorities must lie. That's good, right? He's learning his lesson, right? WCO, I'm not gonna lie, right? WCO, guys. Okay. From today's onward, I will return to the heart of the true developer, dedicating myself solely to create a game that our products can truly enjoy and be proud of. I'll humbly accept criticism from all products regarding the service instability and especially the story-related issues, right? Yeah, this is very nice to hear, but I hope people are not being vile, right, towards them. I think during the live stream there was a lot of very nasty comments, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so yeah, I think people need to chill out a little bit. Okay, just give actually fair criticism instead of just harassing them and stuff like that. Okay, so yeah, but that's great to hear right here. However, I'm deeply pained to see the development team who have trusted and worked with me for up to 4 years leading to this launch receive severe backlash. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? So yeah, people were being vile, man. I'm not gonna lie. So they need to people need to chill. Okay, since all responsibility lies with me, I ask that you direct your criticism toward me and kindly refrain the extreme criticism of the development team. I will not run away from my responsibility. I promise to correct past mistakes and demonstrate tangible improvements in both the game and our approaches. We ask for your patience and understanding as we strive to deliver on these commitments, right? Please continue to support our team so that we can get back on our feet, and we'll dedicate ourselves fully to making Chaos Zero Nightmare a game worthy of your trust and experience. So yeah, that is a summary, guys. And yeah, like I said, man, people you guys need to relax, right? People who are harassing the developers and stuff like that just messed up. Okay, just relax. Okay, it's just a game. And yeah, anyways, guys, that is all the live stream review, guys, summary pretty much. Okay, a lot of good things right here. Of course, the main issue being the story, right? And the issue with Captain not being the main focus of the story and stuff like that, which that issue arises from KR. KR people were not happy that Owen was getting all the baddies. Okay, so yeah, but yeah, we'll see, man. It looks like the future is looking bright in my opinion, I think, for this game. And yeah, Hyung Suk Kim, WCO, I'm not gonna lie, of course, he admit to his mistakes, and he's trying to learn from them and stuff like that. So that's amazing, right? And anyways, guys, that is it for the video, man. Thank you for watching, and yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. I think this was a really good live stream in my opinion, and yeah, they give really good points to the criticism and stuff like that. So yeah, very nice. We'll see what the future of CZN is looking like, guys. Okay, anyways, see you guys on the next video, and of course don't forget to like and subscribe, and bye bye.